Carl Dixon, his last refereeing assignment of the year. He'll be helped by Harry Walbaum and Jamie Lee on the touchlines. The TMO is Peter Allen. Bit of drizzle around the city today. Brollies up, hoods up, as the early shoppers went about their business. But it's dry now, however. One of those days when it still feels wet. There's mist hanging around, and that may play a part in the handling, the way this game is played. How easy it is to catch the ball. Liam Williams made it look very simple just then. So too, Will Muir, it could be a day in the middle of summer. Such is the ease with which the first two catchers have gone about their work. Ted Hill, head down. Starts ahead of Josh Bayliss today after a second-half impact off the bench against Newcastle, the hard-earned win at Newcastle. McFarland jumping the starter's gun. Already eyes looking skyward, and already Barbary chasing his own kick, but Tobias Elliott nipped in front of him. All this confusion, and Barbary was very nearly gifted something extra special. They'll get the scrum because of the confusion.
Well, Tobias Elliott almost treated that high ball, that box kick, like a receipt, kick-off receipt.
It's not actually a good box kick,
no.
But it works in their favour because no one can properly get underneath it. It's batted back by Elliott, and the first man onto it is Alfie Barbary. That looks like an educated left boot. That's not the first time he's done that. And then just a bit of a kerfuffle. Advantage Bath early on.
But Tobias Elliott goes up for that and taps it back like there's someone guaranteed to be behind him, like a kick-off receipt, but there isn't. There was no one home.
First scrum, and look where Saracens are. They can feel the cobwebs on the back of their boots. This is not a good place to be pushing hard early on at the Rec.
Well, here's the thing. So Bath have been given the free kick. Bit of lack of balance, pre-engaged from Sarries, but Sarries now don't have to scrummage against Bath 5 metres out because of this law amendment.
Tap and go. Tom Dunn. Ted Hill comes in, provides the extra width for Barbary again, who created this mayhem. On to Pepper. Nick Ezekwe, important defensive intervention. Look at Fraser Balmain as well, down on his knees to stop Barbary one more time.
Offside, over here.
Sarri's offside.
Offside,
What's the decision here? Little tap for the line-out.
It's a really interesting point you make, Flats, around that free kick. Obviously, you can't take another scrummage on a free kick, but are teams more likely to defend a short arm rather than a scrum? And I think the answer probably is yes, because you think about the locked-in 8 players into any scrum, and the opportunity to isolate the lesser defenders. Someone like Fergus Burke would have been prime target for a target runner running directly at him on his own line.
Oh, Ezekwe nearly got there, but instead it was Hill, and Barbary, who's already lost his helmet, comes away with it.
Hands and feet!
Thomas du Toit. Bulk of the game so far has been down in this left-hand corner where Bath have set up camp. Abano knocked backwards. Jamie George, Toby Knight, eyes eagerly on the ball, just to the left of Saracens' main defensive effort. Phil Brantingham went in to try to dislodge the ball, but again it was Abano. Another penalty coming. Pepper once more. There's a feeling of inevitability about this. Spencer for so many years as Sarri, and then Russell with the kick. Oh, it was very nearly a kick and a half, but what about Liam Williams' intervention?
We didn't try and catch it, did he?
He certainly did not. That was a bad on, if ever we... So let's hear what the referee has to say.
We've got a penalty over there for the player coming over the top of his feet. So we need to look at the actions over here. Okay, so...
Is he trying to catch this? He's not getting to touch, isn't he? He knows.
So
it's in the breadbasket too, isn't it?
It's clear that it's 15 white. For me, is deliberately knocked the ball out of play. So that'd be a yellow card against, I believe it's at 15. So we're just looking now whether it's a penalty try and the bar player would have caught the ball and scored. So thank you, man. So just play it again. We just need to see if he would have caught the ball.
Yeah,
well, there's a steward down in that corner who absolutely thinks that his man would have caught the ball and scored.
I mean, we mentioned, Austin mentioned pre-match, Joe Thokinasinger dropping a few balls last week. I think you remove Liam Williams from frame, you've got to back Joe Thokinasinger to take that.
Do you agree with that, Jamie?
I agree.
OK, 15. Yellow card, delivery, knocking the ball off, and a penalty try.
Well, the quality of the kick from Finn Russell.
You took the words out of my mouth. It's worth a mention. That is a sublime kick. Yes, he had penalty advantage, but the way he side-footed across, the accuracy, it was all that Liam Williams could do was back the ball away. He knew he was beaten. That is pinpoint accuracy right into the breadbasket of the oncoming Joe Thokinasinger. And Liam Williams, his final thought was, how do I stop this? The only way is by batting it away.
Well, he's back in the Premiership after a spell in Japan. First game in 5 years last weekend, and he's being reacquainted to Premiership yellow cards.
I think they've lost Liam Williams for 10 minutes, and looks like Theo McFarlane isn't going to be able to carry on either.
He's back on his feet. They've got Nathan Michelot, young Nathan Michelot on the bench, Harry Wilson as well. It's Michelot who's on. They've already made that change.
Yeah, there was no foul play in that injury either.
20-year-old, just a handful of Premiership games, is one of those players that Mark McCall is eager to give the chance to stretch his legs today, but not this early. Big blow that, 2 big blows for Saracens early on. 3 if you include the penalty try. And all because Bath have come out buzzing. Ted Hill amongst them.
Okay, use it, please.
Spencer, one of the most accurate box kickers, and when you've got the likes of Will Muir chasing them. 2 sides today who do kick a lot, but who retain the ball a lot as well.
I just think we talked pre-match as well about how good Saracens' kicking game was last week. The first restart was brutal for Bath and they dropped it. Have a look at this. Charlie Ewels doesn't even need a lift. It's so easy for Bath. Sarries have got a man down. These are the little details. Sarries from here can work their way upfield. Look where they are now. They've gone from 22 to 22 because the restart just was nowhere near competitive enough. Way too easy to take. Small detail, 60-yard gain in about 20 seconds.
Does that look like a dislocated finger to you?
Yeah.
It doesn't look comfortable for Tobias Elliott, whatever it is.
Just having another little look at the work of Will Muir up in the air. He doesn't get maybe the credit that he deserves. Obviously a fantastic broken field runner, incredibly powerful, but that is absolutely excellent. Getting up and competing and knocking the ball backwards and then putting his halfback in a position to play the territory that they're doing now. Really, really good from the Bath left winger.
I didn't see it.
Have to anticipate, have to be international honours coming his way in the next year or so if he continues playing that way.
Well, they call him Horse. He's a flying horse as well. He's a magic horse.
But you look at the 2 Bath wingers and you've got this guy Will Muir and Joe Thokinasinger, who is just, every time you see him you have to look twice because he's that big. The genetics are just, they're freaky, and I say that as a compliment. But this guy Will Muir is arguably harder to play against. He's a good finisher and he's quick, yes, but he's like a bag of spanners, isn't he? He's all hard edges, very, very awkward and physical to play against.
Tobias Elliott's gone. Angus Hall's on. It's been in rugby terms, catastrophic start for Saracens. They've already lost 2 players, Theo McFarlane and Tobias Elliott. Conceded the penalty try, Liam Williams yellow carded. It's all Bath so far, all blue, black and white.
There was nearly brilliant work that by Sarries. Rotimi Shaken, fantastic chase, nailed the hit. Sarries arrive.
Then everyone follow.
It's Michelot and Ben Earl are super keen to counter-ruck, and it looks good. It looks like they're going to work their way over the top of that ball, but I think it's Michelot loses his feet. He's scrambling around, knees on the deck. You've got to support your own body weight to a greater degree than that. It was very nearly excellent from the box kick.
Yeah, Muir doesn't quite get side on. He's too front on facing. That leaves him a big target to hit. He actually does brilliantly well by recoiling on the ground and getting the ball back. He wants the ball to drop a bit quicker so he can use his footwork.
Hang on, Cal. He's not shouting, not straight. What would you like? Okay. What would you like?
So Nathan Mitchell, he is young.
Not straight.
He has played just a handful of games. He's got a big future ahead of him, and he's got a lot of time here this afternoon to underline what he is all about. And Angus Hall as well. On for Tobias Elliott. There he is, teenager with the thrill of an 8-minute Christmas Premiership debut against Northampton. He's 19. Saw him in the Premiership Cup last month for the first time. He's a very versatile England under-20 player, but these are players that Saracens would rather have been seeing in the second half.
Yeah, sure, but fire them in. They're young, they're big, they're talented. Fire them in, great stage to go and perform on. They'll be loving it.
Use it now, please.
Thumped up by Toby Knight. He turns 23, 5 days into the new year, and he forces Bath into an offside penalty.
You're off your feet and he's offside.
I mean, if you think about how unnecessary a penalty like that is, I think it was such a rudimentary first phase launch play, if you want to call it that, from Sarries. Give it to the big bloke, send him in. That's it. That's the end of that move. There's no deception. There's no trying to separate Cam Redpath and Finn Russell.
Offside and player off his feet.
Bath just thought, this is so simple, we've got to try and attack it. Sarries did have the numbers there. Unnecessary pen. Lazowski does well, actually, to drag Redpath over the top, take him off his feet.
Just wait. Look, man. Come on.
Now then, Saracens in a part of the pitch they've not spent much time. Ezekwe with the line out, and oh, that's nicely done, and Simpson bursting through. Oh, and Saracens from absolutely zilch have nabbed themselves a score. Ben Earl on the end of it. How about that?
Hey, the old special move front peel. It never works until it works. They always work in training, rarely in games. I'd like to see that final pass. Like to see that final pass from Simpson to Earl. Fantastic from both of them. Hit the ball with great speed, did Simpson. It's this pass here.
I don't think it was needed, was it? He was going to get there.
Check.
Momentum would have gotten him there.
Last pass. Just going to show you a forward pass from Saracens 9.
Really isolated Ben Spencer.
Clear forward pass from 9. Shows the other angle, please. Just
there we go.
Sure we got it clear.
It's a good tackle from Will Muir to stop him. Really does. I don't think he does have enough momentum to reach. That's why Simpson has to throw that offload uncomfortably.
It is good for Will Muir, that, isn't it? If he was a goalkeeper, you'd say he had strong hands. He didn't get much to him, but he's so strong. He did stop him.
Yeah. Keep your foot up.
Benno Urbano back from an injury as a replacement last weekend against Newcastle, now starting again, bashing heads with Fraser Balmain.
It's the right call. Balmain loses traction, he's driving way too early. It's him that collapses it. Too much work going on before the ball's in. It's a balance there, really. You've got a tight head prop pushing early. It's either super aggressive and just wants to do a job on Urbano, or he's worried Urbano's going to do a job on him as soon as that ball comes in. So it's either aggression or a bit of fear. Could be a bit of both. Easy call.
Cute one to the front that guarantees Bath possession.
But actually, Michelot was really sharp off the line then and cut that pass away from Spencer. So Bath are dealing with it, but they don't want to be here. They intended to move that ball.
Use it, please.
Toje pressurising the left boots of Spencer, and that was a stretch for Hall. In the end, too much. So with the advantage, Will Muir.
Tackle.
Spencer to Toy. Russell under a lot of pressure. All the advantage is over, and Saracens all of a sudden on the front foot. Would have been a very timely end to the advantage from a Saracens perspective, but they just couldn't quite gather it or get themselves in an attacking shape in time. But still their ball.
Thank you. Don't hold on to him.
Lazowski to Glanville.
Move back.
Finn Russell towards the open stand, but half a metre too far.
If you hold him, I won't reward.
We saw an excellent kick from Finn Russell. Look at the pressure he's under this time round. Cannot
On the edge. Use the line,
reenact
please.
what we
Corner.
saw from the first penalty try. He's under too much pressure, doesn't get to connect, and as a result, kicks it down the throat. Was it Fergus Burke was in the backfield? Just shows the difference between pressurising the 10, making sure they don't have time to do it, because that's what 10s, the best 10s in the world, look as though they've all the time in the world. But pressurise anyone, and they come up with errors like that.
Stolen by Yules.
Very, very tidy line-out defence, that, from Charlie Yules. It looks like they've just chucked them up in the air, and they have. But actually, there will be a trigger in there that at least 2 or 3 players have read. Marrow will have done something. There will have been a movement. Somebody will have moved and triggered something. They'll have learnt about that. You don't take opposition line-outs that clean in the middle off Maro Itoje if you haven't done your homework.
He was amongst the tries against Newcastle. He powered over for Bath's 4th. Work just there that won't gather quite as many headlines, but impressive nonetheless. And this time Bath secure their line-out. Spencer to, rather Russell to Lawrence, and he took a thud in midfield. Now it's Spencer's kick.
50-22 is on.
50-22 is on.
Outside.
Not quite.
It's outside. Cleared outside the 22.
Big shot that, wasn't it?
It was
Good try, though. Good try.
Want to taste your fillings, all right. The bigger player hits the smaller player.
Oh, there's trouble coming. There's the whistle.
Just want to look at the actions of the Saracens player attacking number 13 blue, please.
Yeah, got it, Carl. Yeah,
you.
we'll get the best angles.
It's Toby Knight and his right shoulder.
We'll get the point of
I
contact.
think we're looking
for
at
you.
a definite card here. We'll hear Dicko break it down, but
So that's point of
there's
contact.
going to be a
there,
card,
Carl.
I'm pretty
So
sure.
directly to the head, is that what we're saying?
Yes.
Considerable
So
force.
we've got direct to the head, so it's not shoulder to the head, it's direct to the head, yeah? That's what we're saying? Yes. Peter, thanks, yeah, happy with that. So if we go through the process now, so we've got, yes, we've got head contact. Player's at fault because he doesn't level change enough. Degree of danger's high because it's a forceful tackle moving forward. And I'm not seeing any mitigation. I know that the blue player slightly dips, but it's not a significant drop for me. So we're looking at, based on that, we're looking at a red card. Against, the number was, please, 12 white. Peter, you happy with those facts?
It wasn't
Just
12, was
wait
it?
1 minute.
It was 7, wasn't it? Toby
Seven.
Knight.
Toby Knight.
7 white.
7 white, so it's 7 white. You happy
Yeah.
with the facts that we just came out with?
Agreed. Yeah.
Okay, so 7.
We've played a smidge over 14 minutes, and this
Okay, so
match
we'll go back to the
already
penalty area
unravelling
again,
dramatically for Saracens. A yellow card already, and now a red card for Toby Knight, and they're down to 14.
Get the mark for me, Peter, where the tackle happened, and then we can penalty that. So literally
Yeah,
just
you're
let-
5 metres inside half.
It's
Yeah,
never low,
back.
loads of
Yeah.
force, at full speed. It looked very aggressive indeed. Slow-mo can be helpful, it can also be deceptive.
Thanks.
As soon as we saw the replay, Brian, we were both thinking card of some variety, weren't we?
Yeah, it does feel like what we saw during the Autumn Nations series. It feels like a 20-minute red card, that doesn't it? It's a smidgen off.
Yeah,
you know,
red
it's
shot.
very close to being a brilliant shot. It's just a couple of inches too high. Just feels huge loss now for the rest of the game. The Sarries have to make do with 14 for 65 minutes.
Well, they are back to 14 because Liam Williams has just come back on a few seconds early, according to the time we had. But anyway, he is back on. And Spencer, and then the man who was in the middle of that red card incident, Lawrence, fires it up beyond the Bomo. Oh, and Ted Hill atomising Saracens defenders to tie. The roar of the wreck, a common feature in this year's Gallagher Premiership.
Just talking about an elbow on the carry, I'm not saying this.
Monstrous, absolutely monstrous to three of them. Turns out Ollie Lawrence survived that hit from Toby Knight, okay. This was about huge power, huge directness, decent pass selection, three massive carries from powerful men. I think the Ted Hill carry here might be the most impressive, just behind Abano. Abano sucks in a defender, sucks in Hartley, and that is massive from Ted Hill. And then, hey, we know what he does. We know what Thomas Dutoy does. This is the one here. Abano just sucks Hartley in there.
Carl, there's nothing in that.
Lazowski sees a shoulder right in the chops. Brutal power, Brian.
It's beautiful deception from Abano. Selfless. Running the short line. Obviously pre-called to go out the back because he holds in that close defender to the ruck, isolating Lazowski. When you put someone the size and stature of Ted Hill one-on-one, he's going to lick his lips at that contact. Takes advantage, huge after post-contact meters. And then Thomas Dutoy, even though he's tackled on the line, little flop over, and boy, that guy knows where the try line is. He's prolific.
He's now taken in by Ewells, but on the way there was a little bit of crossing there, obstruction. Looked like Quinn Rue tumbling through.
Well, the thing, Quinn Rue is now struggling, so I'm sure we'll see this again, but when everyone's got to run up like this, you take your life in your hands a little bit when you try and obstruct, you don't get out of the way. Oh, that's a bit rough, that.
He was protecting you in the air, lifted, he's in front.
That's hard. I mean,
out of the way.
It's probably a bit unrealistic to expect him to sprint his fastest ever 10 metres to get out the way there like he's out the blocks. And he's worn one in the lower back. There's troubles.
So, what are Saracens?
Taking
a punch to the stomach in the opening quarter of an hour. How do they respond? We know how they often do respond, but a man down.
5v6. 6 versus 5.
Free kick Saracens.
No, thanks.
Brantingham takes it in, places the ball down.
Numbers 6 and a 5.
Bath pay for getting the count wrong at the line out.
Thanks.
Oh, Ewells backing away. Earl, and then
The scrum or the line? Finn, scrum or line? There's a gap, Ben. There's a scrum here, obviously we can have the line there.
The frustration for Ollie Hartley, because if he had gathered that cleanly.
I don't know how subtle it was. Jeez, it was fired at him from very close quarters. He was well marshalled anyway by Cam Redpath.
Could be wrong, but
he'll be looking for a little bit more subtlety from his 10.
Blue ball.
If they're down in that territory again, sometimes as a line picker, you're focusing on where the gap is going to be, and the last thing you want is to have to focus on taking the ball. That should be a given. The little pop pass to you and allow you to fade on it or hit the line, as he was hoping to do.
Beno Abano and Fraser Balmain again. Abano won the last contest, but he's lost his grip just there.
He slipped under there. Bartha got away with that. Should be a penalty to Sarries under the posts.
Clearly tackled, brought to ground.
Perhaps a bit of accidental. Is it poetic justice? Don't know. There was a pen at the scrum for me. Just an accident from Abano. It's not cheating, just lost his grip and slipped under.
Got back up.
You keep your eye on Abano here. Just watch his left arm, left shoulder. There, he just slips.
3 points.
There's a lot of power coming through.
Literally on the ground.
But you aren't allowed to slip your bind and go under like that.
I didn't see. I'm on this side. I can do this side.
Carl Dixon saying that Alfie Barbary had been clearly tackled, got back to his feet, went again. And then I think there was a little bit of chopsing, which is what cost them 10 metres, but it's more likely to cost them 3 points here. Saracens slap bang in front of the posts. And this is Fergus Burke, perhaps the best performance as a Saracen so far against Northampton since arriving from New Zealand as the replacement for Owen Farrell. A couple of tries, 19 points all told. Really looked like he just grew an extra couple of inches in the shirt.
And I think easy 3 for Fergus Burke. I think when you talk to him on camera and off it, he's very open about that. He says, I'm really getting more relaxed as time goes on. It will take me time. I will get better, I think, as time goes on. Really, it really did look settled in last weekend against Saints at the Stonex. Very comfortable indeed.
14-3, 20 minutes gone. Saracens down to 14 if you're just joining us. Toby Knight, red card after 14 minutes for a high tackle on Ollie Lawrence, shoulder to the head. Lazowski for Saracens.
It's actually a good kick chase, that, from Sarries. Lazowski really wanted to hoof that and get rid of it, especially a man down 20 yards from his own line, but there was nowhere to turn for blue and black shirts.
Thank you.
Hooked away by Simpson. Form earning him this opportunity to shape the game from the off. Ivan Pansela replacement today. Simpson's first start of the season. Back line out, Tom Dunn. To Hill. Spencer. And then Redpath and Barbary. Lawrence. Tackled by Hartley. Russell thought about the kick, held on to the ball that extra second or so longer to keep the defence guessing as Muir came in. And that's Williams, but Saracens offside. Just love that way, and it's so obvious to say, but the way that Finn Russell holds on to the ball half a second longer than I think we all expect him to.
And actually, if he'd picked the longer pass, that was probably the one. It's unlike him not to find the best outlet. He is human after all, but he is a joy to watch. You know, just that holding inside, lots of 10s. Before that sweep down blindside would go a little bit earlier than him. No, he's patient with it. He's in no hurry. And then when he does hold it for those defenders to come in and bite, actually Lazowski does a great job in defending off him. He stays with them as long as he feels he's comfortable. The pass is gone and then pushes out onto Will Muir. Really good defender from the Saracens 13.
Tom Dunn, 14th season with the club he grew up loving as a kid. Waiting increasingly impatiently for his first major trophy with them. So close at Twickenham in June. He'll have felt it as much as anyone, and he's got a chance here to impact on this game. Being held on to by Mitchello determinedly. But that's how close they are. Ted Hill. Left shoulder to the ground. Barbary perhaps the next to load himself. No, he flicks it to the right, and Quinn Roux. All this, remember, with Saracens a man down. There have to be holes. There are holes. Exploited by Cameron Redpath.
This time, Finn Russell picks precisely the right pass. And with you, Brian, it felt odd to see him pick a pass that perhaps wasn't perfect 30 seconds ago. Well, he doesn't make the same mistake twice. Redpath finds it. All he's got to do is find the space. And with Finn Russell at 10, the forward pack have shored up, narrowed up that defence a little bit. And with Finn Russell at 10, Cam Redpath can be very, very confident that the ball will arrive just where he wants it, when he wants it. Easy as pie for Cam Redpath.
Enough for Liam Williams to draw him out of the line, worried about the outsides. They were numbers down, and so the natural inclination is to try and defend wide, but you have to make sure you don't bleed through the heart. Closer in by the post, and that's where the opportunity arose for Redpath. Beautiful subtlety. And a small little double pump from Finn Russell. Holds it that split second as Shagun shoots out on him. Yeah, I can draw you, and there's my friend.
And you've got Hartley at 12. You can see him, he's just overrun it. He's flying out. They're almost Saracens are trying to overtake the ball. They're trying to get wide before the ball's got there. It's easy to just say, defend the first threat first. It's obvious, but under that pressure, it ain't so easy.
Inside.
Well pressurised by a chasing Shagun. They've got to start the escape process from inside their 22.
Yeah, use it now, please. Ben, take a step.
Toje told to take half a step backwards. He did ask the question, and Carl Dixon told him, which meant that Ben Spencer had all the time in the world to clear away. We have graphical confirmation of just how efficient Bath have been every time they've got into Saracens 22 so far. Going out without Toby Nice involved, given the red card to a Toje. Simpson. Lazowski again going for the boot. Hartley tried to get through, but there were too many bodies in the way, and Russell had a bit of time before the heavy traffic turned up.
Use it, please.
Done. He's trying to engineer a clean launch pad here, David, to give the kicker. Probably Spencer time and space to launch this away.
Nikasikwe is going to do his best. Spencer's so sharp on that box kick, gets charged down so rarely, hasn't quite found touch.
No, Williams instead. Here goes Ariel. Oh, and then Earl runs into a Redpath. Cocking a singer with it.
Tackle!
Abano takes on George.
It's not available yet, it's just trapped in. Just
With that, Jamie George just held that ball in for just a second. Pinned Abano down on his front. Turned slow ball into really, really slow ball.
Spencer to Williams again.
Okay, use it now, please. Two, stop, Jake. Yeah, thank you.
There should be Tom de Glanville's, but it was made difficult by the chase. And pack on the back for Angus Hall. Not sure what your plans are this afternoon, but a plate of Christmas goodies. I don't know. Nice dry sherry. I don't know. What's your favourite, Flats, to watch this lot with?
I've just got a line out. I haven't got a knock on.
How many?
I was going to say champagne, but the reality is warm ale.
Yes, probably. Any pigs in blankets left in the Flatman fridge, or all gone? No, all gone.
Have a guess.
Drico, what about you?
It's not big. The pigs in blankets isn't big in Ireland.
What?
Yeah,
what?
Yeah, it's not a thing.
And you call yourself a civilised society?
Look, we're mates.
What's going on?
Yeah, I was oblivious to it until we had a Christmas party a few years ago, and that was all the talk.
Well, let me educate you.
Yes.
Press pause on this game for a sec.
Anyway, whatever you have left in your fridge, even if you don't have pigs in blankets, so much more to look forward to over the rest of this afternoon, including the big game, of course, at Twickenham and tomorrow.
So good from Barbary. That was actually a great shot from Ben Earl. Saracens have done brilliant there, but how Barbary rode that. Balance for such a big man. Ends up in a Sarries pen for some lightning work at the breakdown, Brian.
Look at this for a steal from Maro Toji, though. Talk about technique, strength, willingness to stay in the fight. Now he's 6'6", 6'7", to get in there, win the shoulder. There's two players trying to clear him out. Thomas Tatoy is one of them. That takes a huge amount of upper and lower body strength. We've seen it over the last 10 years. One of the best tacklers in whatever team he's in. He's relentless with it. You've got to win the shoulder on him.
The best way to, well, ideally with a team full of massive carriers, you want to knock them backwards. If that doesn't work, let them hit the deck and nick the ball off them. That was so sharp.
Atoje now lifting Ezekwe high. Ezekwe and Michelo adding bulk as George ferrets around at the back of all this. Everyone joining in, it seems, including the hefty Hartley. Where's it going? Simpson's there, should he be needed. Quinru goes over the top, Simpson is needed. Lazowski, that's nice! Williams with room to move into. Why didn't he give it? Surely he should have given it.
Can only imagine that pass was cut off. It had to have been given otherwise.
That ball went backwards. George might yet get another go. Lazowski still there. Oh, you felt as if Saracens had to score. Ezekwe. Bath have had time to funnel the numbers back, and then the cross kick from Burke. Oh, not his best.
Wide open, that was.
Marcus Hall is screaming for the ball out wide. It's just a really, really poorly executed kick. In the previous life, Liam Williams scores that try. He has bigger, better wheels. But they create another opportunity for themselves. In another life, Jamie George scores that try. But this is the right option, just really poor execution. He has bucket loads of space to play with. Disappointing not to convert there.
They're a man down and he is in fully 15, 20 metres of space there. Big opportunity missed.
Can I ask a question of both of you? Referring back to the red card for Toby Knight. Clearly, red cards have an impact depending on the position of the player that you've lost. What impact does losing your open side flanker have to the way you're trying to play the game and attack and defence, do you think?
Well, I think you'll find in most cases that if a player in the back line or nearly anyone in the front five gets sent off, you have to replace them. More often than not, it's a back rower is pulled ashore and told, sorry, your time is up, which is an unfortunate situation. So if you are going to lose someone, it's probably got to be one of your 6, 7 and 8. The really debilitating positions is your 9 and 10, and you've got to replace them immediately. So they're managing relatively well under the circumstances, but if you are to pick someone, it's probably your player of choice, one of the flankers.
Let's see what Johan van Graan has to think about that. It's not your problem today, Johan, but do you have plans in place depending on whatever position it is that you lose to a red card?
Yeah, you plan for any eventuality, and the key thing is then to execute it on game time when it happens. But look, we can't control the opposition red card. We've had to deal with that in the past, and we did that pretty well. We've just got to focus on our game, because red cards most of the time galvanizes the opposition.
Tell us about your game. What are you doing well at the moment?
I think we're defending our goal line pretty well. That was a good set of D. I think once we get into the opposition 22, we scored 3 good tries. The thing about Saracens, is their kicking game. Obviously from the restart they got an entry, and from that 4-man they got the poach and got an entry. So we've got to make sure we exit well and then keep scoring once we're done there.
We saw yesterday, last night, and I know you were watching, Jan, the impact that Byron Hayward has had Byron McGuigan has had on Sale's defence. A word for JP Ferreira and what he's doing with your lot at the moment.
Yeah, Japes is excellent. The two of us have come a long way at a previous club as well. We've got a pretty set system. He's got total buy-in from the players, and defence shows commitment, and he's got the commitment of the group in terms of hitting and making good decisions, and the team was certainly tough to beat there on the try line. So yeah, Japes is doing an excellent job.
One final question: what can you be doing better at the moment?
I think just get out of our half more effectively. The kickoff there on Quinn, tough call, but we've got to adapt to the referee, and then obviously that 4-man cutting back inside the poach from Maro. So get out of our half, get field position, and then our power game. We're going to back our power game.
Always a delight to chat to you, and thank you very much.
Thanks, Nick. Merry Christmas.
I think on what Johan's saying there, the power game, back it, and going back to your question a couple of minutes ago about losing Toby Knight. it also depends on the individual. What they've lost, there are other guys that can jackal, there are other guys that can make 100 tackles. What they've lost is a massive, aggressive physical presence against a seriously powerful team. So I think he might represent a bigger loss as the game goes on, actually, just in physical terms.
Just to underline as well, Saracens having to replace Theo McFarlane not long after, which is why Nathan Mitchello is on. So losing McFarlane, losing Knight, they're 6 and 7. Lost Tobias Elliott, the right winger, early on. Saracens knocked out of shape by misfortune, some of it self-inflicted, and the quality of Bath's play as well so far. Half an hour gone. All 3 tries, Bath tries. A penalty try, Thomas du Toit, and the latest from Cam Redpath. Burke looking to claim it. Ooh, came down awkwardly.
Saying the ball was batted forward by the Saracens 10, and then someone in front wanted to pick the ball up.
But it's an offside, isn't it?
Decent contest, and then Simpson's the one not knowing who it's come down from. He'll tell you, I was sure it came off Takanasinga, and that's why it was good to go.
Good call, that. I don't know what you think. It's a good call, that, because you see Fergus Burke go all ends up and get smacked in the air. Actually, it was a proper contest. The right call was made, and sometimes when you have a proper contest, you land awkwardly. I think that was a good call. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I think he's got it right.
Time off, please.
Just starting to spit a bit. You can see the rain on our camera lens, which will thrill those in the Gene Kelly stand. Singing in the rain, very shortly, you'd imagine. Gathered by Hill. He's having a big game, as he often does. Redpath spins it away quickly. Oh, de Glanville did what he could, but he was absolutely marmalised by Liam Williams.
That has knocked the wind right out of de Glanville. He's still down.
Charlie Ewells. De Glanville still trying to work out if it's pre-Christmas or post-Christmas. In a lot of pain. Lawrence, meantime, with Ted Hill away to his right-hand side. Went for the kick, chases his own kick. Earl was there. He did very well. Poor old Tom de Glanville. Still sorting himself out down below us.
Okay, use it now, please.
He's on his feet now. Shegan, in the end realising that he was always going to be second best to Finn Russell. Roux. De Glanville, Redpath, lassoed by Itoje. Well, you could hear that Ben Spencer didn't particularly like that, but it created problems nonetheless for Burke, who dealt with those problems very calmly.
He's done really well. Finn Russell might go. No, he hasn't. I mean, he's going to chuck it to Tom de Glanville, who's still getting a little bit of medical attention. We might have a look at that tackle. I mean, firstly, it was a fantastic defensive read from Liam Williams. It's just the hit itself. I'm sure we'll have a look at it. A man down, these defensive reads, of course, become ever more important. Yeah, legal, arms around, that was mega, and at full speed, that was excellent defence and excellent willingness to collide. Very disruptive.
Yeah.
Fergus Burke gets himself in a bit of a muddle, has the footwork to get out, and then maybe that's not the angle on the banana kick, but that is no angle whatsoever, and he's kicked it all at 35, 40 yards. Sumptuous. Great shot from Liam Williams.
Going to test aging memories here. What are the biggest shots you two have ever worn in the professional game?
There's no competition. Scott Williams, 2013, Lansdowne Road. My backside was black and blue the next day from the impact on hitting the ground. He broke his collarbone. I'd have broken multiple ribs if it wasn't square in my sternum. I couldn't talk for about 3 minutes.
And I played against big Chrissy Hallowfia, so enough said.
Yeah, pick out any of a dozen.
Yeah.
What's that again?
He's the only player I ever played against where he said, lads, we have to avoid this guy. We have to avoid big Chrissy. Anyway, there's a game on.
On the 10. 10 metres back line offside. Back line offside.
So from the offside, Finn Russell will drill this as close to the 5-metre line as he can.
Took 5 metres off the penalty as well. I think he was going to run it to the 22 himself.
Do you notice that the mark is really just, it's really up to you. Yeah. Here's my mark, but you choose your own.
More than welcome, Mr. Russell. Take your time.
That and hooker's feet in the field of play.
Yeah, although
things we would. I know what you're going to say. Let's not have that conversation again. Actually, look at Tom Dunn. Good lad.
Textbook.
On the line. Well done. Taken by Dunn. He deserves a try for not breaking the law. Although he's on the line there, and he really would rather not have been.
Well, he was in touch legally for the line out. Little Simpson there, just a little. He's just trying to annoy Ben Spencer. It's probably worked.
Just going back to that thing, X is full of people saying you only need to have the back studs. I mean, that's just nonsense, isn't it? I mean, when we're running the country and we're importing pigs in blankets to Ireland each Christmas, there must be. We're also outlawing what Jamie George has just done.
Well, Brian's undermined his campaign massively by the pigs in blankets comment. I'm sure he was held in great esteem until then.
I see a franchise coming.
Well, it would be unlike you not to see a gap in the market, Brian. So let's have a look at it at half-time, of which we are 4 minutes away from. Oh, that's Muir up highest. And then the chase from Simpson, but frustratingly for him, the referee's whistle.
Do you know, real shame that for Angus Hall. It was a really good chase, laser sight on the ball, really strong. I mean, bear in mind, it's Will Muir he's taking on in the air. We've talked about his strength up there already. It was nearly absolutely mega, this, from Angus Hall, really nearly. But Muir does just enough.
Listen, Jamie, if I'm wrong, I apologise. I thought we went forward. That's not.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, they're saying it's probably not a knock on. It might not have been. These things happen. Close enough.
Surely it's the other way. Surely it's the Sarries put in.
Jamie,
Jamie George has made the point to Carl Dixon.
I think he's.
You could reverse it, couldn't you, on the spot, presumably?
That's Alfie Barbary.
Let's go again then.
Come on, boy. No, down here, boys. We need to set up right. We need to set up right.
Both front rows getting down to their work a little wearily. It's been a long first 40, busy first 40.
Well, and there's still a bit of Christmas Day knocking around. These boys weren't holding back. When you're 140 kilos, what's an extra kilo?
Putting all of those kilos into this pushing contest, which Bath have won. Spencer opted to go one way, went the other to release the horse on the Gallagher, over the fences, first to the line. Will Muir in horse corner, and Bath have another, and they have their bonus point before half-time.
We talk about the quality of Ben Spencer. First of all, it's the platform up front, a brilliant scrum from Bath. Not sure if they quite have penalty advantage, but it's actually the change of direction from Ben Spencer, pretending to go open side, then he darts down the blind side. And because Saracens are a man down in the scrum, they're having to really focus on that scrummage, takes them out of being able to marshal the negative side as well as they would have wanted. And Spencer takes full advantage of it, and then a great finish from Muir. Bonus point before half-time. We'll take that.
It's a still day. It's not the simplest of kicks for Finn Russell, but the elements won't be in his mind right now. Just the uprights. Oh, yes.
Easy.
28-3.
Fantastic kick that, and again, great finish from Will Muir, great speed, great to see him at full chat. Have a look at this power. Most importantly, have a look at number 20. Nathan Michelot, all the power from that Bath scrum from Benno Abano and his mates means that Michelot has to stay in that scrum because his mates are getting hammered. It's power that creates that space. It's power that creates the numbers overlap, the numerical advantage on the blind side. Power with a bit of speed seems to be the Bath formula.
Ted Hill caught the ball, sized up where the threat was coming. It was led by Brantingham.
Okay, use it now, please. Blue offside in the 10. Not for me, it's going outside the 10.
Russell's kick, bouncing ball, evades a Welshman. He does what he can to evade Bath players. Not easy when you run into 4 of them. He did well to, in the end, induce the penalty.
He did do well, and it wasn't the best kick that, but it was so awkward. The bounce defeated him, Liam Williams. You can see it didn't quite go where Finn Russell wanted it to. There's no one really chasing that awkward bounce. Liam Williams did really, really well. Really, he wants to make a break and score, but what he really has to do is just buy enough time, beat enough defenders that his mates can get back there and resource the breakdown. Not easy when you sidestep back inside and meet Thomas du Toit. Did just enough.
Earl takes on Redpath. Simpson. Burke. Oh. Header from Shegan that he wasn't anticipating.
Well, understandably, at this scoreline, it's just not quite coming together with Sarries. Everyone was stationary. There's no movement onto the ball.
Well, Wazowski was stretching, but Lawrence got there first, did brilliantly to pick out de Glanville. And now Shegan has it. Much more comfortably. Time up at the end of this first half. Earl, Burke, Ezekwe, Sarries. Well, if they can come away with a try at the end of it, that will be a huge bonus. That might have been their last opportunity, however. Bath's half, 4 tries. Penalty try, Thomas du Toit, Cameron Redpath and Will Muir. A lot for Saracens to wear in that first 40. A yellow card, a red card, early injuries, a bag full of problems for the Londoners. We will hear from Ugo and Austin shortly. Half-time at the Rec. Bath 28, Saracens 3. Well, we have changes to tell you about at half-time. He's on, Miles Reed for Ted Hill, who got through a shed load of work in the first 40 and seems to have picked up a little bit of a problem. And so too Harry Wilson for Nick Ezekwe. Nick Ezekwe took a little bit of treatment, lengthy treatment, in that first half, so that perhaps less of a surprise. But Saracens are just being bent and twisted this way and that, and I think in all honesty, with the changes that they'd made, it was not necessarily a match they were targeting for a big win, but they would have hoped to have taken a point, maybe 2 back to London. There's a big job ahead of them in this second half, David.
Yeah, it was always, the team name had some real quality in it, but let's be frank, there's a bit of firepower left at home. 1 or 2 bits of firepower on the bench as well, not starting the game. But the luck they've had, and some of it's been in their own making, the red card was their own making, of course, but the luck they've had with injuries is it won't help their cause at all, and that is an ugly little start to the second half from a very, very good player who we're not used to seeing make errors like that.
He's been freshly patched up at half-time, Ben Earl. Shifting from number 7 to number 8 with Tom Willis missing today. Almost another player with not an overly serious injury, but one nonetheless. Spencer feeding Russell, finding Muir again. Similar to the move that nearly led to the try before half-time, Barbary.
Great shot from Harry Wilson, that.
Abano. Picked up by Detroit. Dunn making sure that it's there for Spencer. Russell, what's on his mind? Redpath. Some sparkling feet and then work over the ball from Michelo.
He's holding on.
Previous phase,
Where?
2 players.
Here.
Yeah. Keep moving back.
Wait. Offside.
Number 20
Saracens
offside.
offside. Spencer with the free kick.
Offside.
The man calling the tune will be the bearded Tom Dunn.
And there tends not to be too many frills about their quick taps.
Let's go.
It's all about bludgeon. They back themselves.
That is the bludgeon. Full force. Miles Reed amongst them, releasing the ball for Detroit.
Offside again.
Can lever himself over from there. Has he levered far enough? Not quite. Carl Dixon down on his haunches.
Ridiculous power from Thomas Detroit then, to even come close, considering how far away from the line he was hit.
Blue continued forward, fork and roll.
He's been kind to Maro Toji.
Yeah.
Anywhere else in the field, and that's a penalty, and you could argue that he knew what he was doing, staying put.
Bath go again. Sleeves rolled up a little bit higher, just a little bit more determination. Initially from Dunn, now from Reed. He gives it away, and Barbary trying to force his way to the line. What have we seen? That's what Carl Dixon's seen. Huge sigh of relief from Saracens defenders.
If I'm wrong, I'll be told. Maybe.
Barbary looks up, hopefully, not entirely convincingly.
Hold up.
What do we reckon?
When it hits the deck just before, but whether the thrust is enough to squeeze the ball over the line or not.
It's on a Toje's arm that was underneath it. If it was, he did a brilliant job.
I think you couldn't give that, is what I think. That's the right call.
Yes,
What a
inside.
short 22 dropout that.
Gareth Simpson, first start at scrum half of the season for Saracens, taken by Shegan. He's fit to go again after missing last weekend. He scored tries in 3 of his last 4 games against Bath. One now would be handy. Smart from Hartley. First time in the Premiership for him this season. He scored a try in his last one against Gloucester in April, and the ball being shipped forward nicely. There was a hint of the forward about that, however, as Michelo got himself involved. Liam Williams is down injured, Saracens fullback, so there's grass to attack here, and that's what Bath are doing. Muir lumbering after it, and Burt needs to be sharp. He's been snagged by Redpath.
Yeah, but he stayed on his feet long enough to take care of the ball.
Use it, please.
Some fantastic attack by Saracens. It was one chip kick through too many. They ran out of numbers in attack.
Okay, use it, please.
I think they call that end-to-end stuff, don't they?
Gareth.
De Glanville. Russell. Lawrence, half the width of the pitch used, and now the other half. Wonderful from Lawrence to Fokker Nasinga, out of their seats in front of us 5 seconds before he scored. Arms raised to the roof of the stands, and at the end of 2024, Bath are telling us all about their ambition as we slip into 25.
It's a very, very clinical try from Bath. This box kick had to go out because there'd been a sequence of play deep in Saracens territory. It doesn't go out. What do? You change the point of contact. 2 passes is the rule. But you've got to make your first up tackles. Lovely little chicken wing pass from Ollie Lawrence makes it look very, very effective. But the damage was done by an ineffective kick. But then really good attacking play from the Bath three-quarter line. Finn Russell coming in, getting that all-important width into an area of less aligned defence, and that's where Lawrence did his magic.
As we reach the halfway point of this season, memories of his first try of the season, the first ever try of this season here on the opening night against Northampton. And he bags another now. That ball's not going to do enough in the end for Russell, but a 5th try for Bath.
Ollie Lawrence is a player who offers so much. On his day, he can almost do everything. As soon as this tackle's missed, you know Sarries are in trouble. He's done a job on 3 defenders, a gorgeous offload that Liam Williams could not predict because it came out the back, one-handed. It's just a gorgeous piece of skill. We mustn't take skill like that for granted at full pace from big men. Wonderful. A sprint in for Thokana Singer, but he did the damage. Lovely.
To Glanville. Claims that confidently. Thomas Hall was there or thereabouts for Saracens, but it was Bath's ball, and Russell just entering the territory where Finn Russell might start to have a lot of fun here.
I think Alex Ozovsky recognised that and flew up out the line. The Bath fans on this near side screaming he's offside. I don't think he was, but he's just desperate to stop Finn Russell fizzing that ball wide and picking options.
Really good piece of skill from the Scottish 10. Not only avoiding that rushing defence, but then almost getting away. A good spiral kick. Found grass.
Yours just about. Barbary, fed by Redpath. Russell, short pass, lovely one to Thokana Singer, just to keep the move going, and again it's Muir, shaped to pass to the touchline, which wouldn't have been the brightest idea. Wisely held on to it. De Toy. Miles Reid offering the width that he can on this near right-hand side. He's wandering towards the main action now.
I wonder if De Toy hurt himself there.
Time off.
Liam Williams definitely did. He is down receiving treatment, top left of your screen.
I've just got a good clear out live, and then Gray coming out the background. Yeah, I've nothing different. Okay, perfect. We've got number 15 down injured.
Gets a big blow, doesn't he? Is it Tom Dunn? Don't know which one did the damage then. Might have been Guy Pepper.
Line out.
Well, as we head into 2025, when we're not eating pigs in blankets, we will be talking about Lions selection. So let's start it now. It can be a bit tedious, but hey, who's on the pitch today that Andy Farrell will be interested in? We'll obviously throw a Toje in the mix. Ollie Lawrence,
Thomas Du Toit,
Finn Russell, Thomas Du Toit. Now that would be a story.
We got time.
Wow. What do you reckon? Are we missing anyone else?
That gentleman right there, Finn Russell, obviously you'd have to imagine is right in the mix at the minute. Probably holds the jersey. There might be 1 or 2 other 10s in England that would have something to say. Maybe even the son of the coach. We'll have to see for later on 25 whether that comes to pass. But this guy has the full bag of tricks. What a dream to play outside. Provided he has the platform, he can do all sorts. And he'll get the platform on the Lions, that's the thing.
That really would be something. Sam Spink is on for Liam Williams, who has not survived that latest collision.
Too much instability. Too much instability.
Sam Spink, members of his time with Wasps, before it all ended very unhappily in the West Midlands, of course. He's back in the Premiership after 2 years, had a little bit of time with Western Force in Perth, but now he's back at the Rec.
Also think, should this kick make touch, I also think we haven't seen, certainly not this autumn, the best of Ollie Lawrence in an England shirt. But actually he is a player, when he's really firing outside a great 10, and by the way, he's outside one today, he just looks fabulous in so many situations. I just think there's more from him, there's more to come from him on the international stage. I really do hope that England stick with him for a period and try and get some of that out, because I think he is a Swiss Army knife of players, weapon everywhere.
Barbary. Going to have a chat with Rob Webber.
Okay, use it, please.
Saracens coaching team in a moment. The ball was
knock on advantage.
challenged for by Angus Hall. Saracens still have it with Wilson.
Still under pressure.
And that's nicely done by Hartley. Still only 22.
Okay, advantage is over for the knock-on.
Seeing a lot of Saracens young players today, much earlier than I suspect Rob Webber and the rest of the coaches would have wanted us to see them, given all the injuries. But
okay,
all of
using
this,
that, please. Ball's
miles
available.
on the clock, experience in the bank, all of those things. Half an hour to go. De Glanville. He's looked good under the high ball.
Very good.
Becoming the full package at fullback, as Johan van Graan always suspected he would. Bouncing ball that Lazowski eyes cautiously. He very nearly dropped it, but thankfully held on. Simpson chasing. Muir there first. Russell. Spencer evades a chasing Earl. And then finds Redpath in a little bit of space on that left-hand side. Redpath's gone. The little Campese hitch kick.
Oh, you had to give the pass.
Yeah, that had to stay in the hand, didn't it?
Come out.
Russell. Rob Webber waiting patiently to have a chat with us.
No.
We'll be with Rob as soon as this ball goes out of play. Spencer, rather Russell, looking for Barbary. Barbary did well. Ooh, and picked up by Lawrence, but it went forwards. So let's have a chat with Rob. Rob, we've talked about all the disruptions that you've had in that first 40, the yellow card, the red card, the injuries. So just give us an idea of the chat at half-time. How calm is it? Who's doing the talking? What kind of things are you talking about?
Yeah, loads of disruption, wasn't it? That's been very difficult to manage against a very good Bath team. Half-time, yeah, it was calm. We've got a lot of experience still out there on the pitch. We were trying to think of ways to get a foothold in the game when everything seems to be going against you, and that's where we need to rely on these experienced players to put us in the right areas, make a contest of everything, the kick game, try and win some scraps, and ultimately try and get a decision or two and get the rub of the green.
I'm looking at the possession stats, about 65%, you 35% at the moment.
Yeah, well, that tells its story, doesn't it?
Come back on then, please.
What do you do about that?
Yeah, I think we're not so bothered about the amount of possession we have. It's probably where they've had it as well. We need to try and get up there, up to the top end of the pitch, and Bath have been very good, and we've been very bad at letting them into our 22. So it's a lot of that is where they've had it as well, which we need to shore up.
Yeah, I'm full of numbers today, Rob. You've been spending 32% of the match so far in your own 22.
Sorry, say that again.
32% in your 22.
Yeah, exactly. As I say, that's due to our mistakes, discipline, ill discipline, and some good play by Bath. So for sure, we can control one or two of those things, can't we? And that's what we spoke about at half-time.
All right, good stuff. Thanks, Rob.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.
It feels right now like they're more than one number down, just not quite getting the numbers to the rucks. Really good pick and jam from Marotoji, trying to bring a bit of momentum and variety to their attack, but there's no one with them.
There's no one with him, but you've got to get excited in attack, certainly, but you watch how Thomas Totoy was in a scrum a couple of seconds ago. We talk about him a lot, but we talk about him a lot with good reason. I'm not entirely convinced he would support his own body weight, but he had about 15 minutes to steady himself before anybody else got there. So actually great athleticism and fitness from him. Sarries, man down or not, need a bit more aggression, a bit more fizz around the breakdown.
Well, the applause for Cam Redpath, but also the applause for a returning Max Ajomo. First Premiership game in 8 months for him. He's finally recovered from a foot injury, and he'll be enjoying Alfie Barbary in 6th gear. Abano away to Roux. Ajomo wandering across to the left-hand side, but Saracens, for the time being, have done enough to win that ball back.
Use it, please. No.
Well, Rob Webber didn't say that so much of this final 25, 26 minutes for Saracens will be that determination not to be swept away here, because a man down they could easily have that done to them, but we'll see the size of their hearts, and I think we know just how big Saracens' hearts are, Brian.
For sure, you know, they've shown it year after year. They're perennial semi-finalists at least. They don't throw the towel in easily. they'll fight right to the bitter end. One tactical thing that I've kind of noticed is that they seem to be kicking on Bath's terms, or kicking because they have to rather than they want to, and that's all to do with the pressure being put on them and the inability to actually get any field position because of the constant scrutiny in the ruck, the counter rucking from Bath, making everything a bun fight. It's just been relentless from Bath today. They've been so good in every aspect of the game, and they sense blood and they're going after it.
Mark McCall and Joe Shaw comparing notes. It's actually one of the aspects of Bath's game that maybe we don't talk enough about, but just the quality of their breakdown work, slowing down attacking ball, and the turnovers as well. I don't think any other side in the Premiership wins more turnovers. They really scrap for the ball when it's a 50-50 battle.
They also don't get turned over very much because they're in numbers and they're fierce. They prioritise it. So Harry Wilson's done really well there to get in the mix. He's been good since he came on, been knocking people around a bit. He's ruined that maul for Bath. Tom Dunn sticking the shoulder on him, that's good stuff. He's annoyed him.
Abano trying to restore some order for Bath, make some a hard-earned metre or two. Ewells. Ollie Hartley there trying to reef the ball away.
Good competition then, lost.
Spencer to Russell. Russell, flattest of flat passes to Pepper. He's looked very much at home in this company this season, having arrived from Newcastle over the summer. Ewells.
Now how quickly can Sarries fold? What's Finn Russell got up his sleeve?
Ajomo, Lawrence away so quickly to Muir. Quinn Roux. Tom Dunn waits, rolls his shoulders. He knows he's got a job ahead of him, but they go the other way once more. Spencer to De Glangan, and the try scored by a sliding horse this time. Will Muir with two. Bath finding holes just a little bit too comfortably for Saracens' liking.
They're finding holes. Saracens look every bit a man down at the moment. The wide pass from Finn Russell a couple of phases before the try, all the way out, just stretches Saracens. It stretches them right out, and look at the space on the left of your screen. How quick can they fold? What's Finn Russell got up his sleeve, he asked. A miss pass. He says, miss me. I don't want it. Give it straight to Ajomo. Everyone's looking at me. Everyone thinks I'm going to make the play. Miss me out. Very, very clever. In the end, super simple. Nicely executed, but simple. Just interesting watching Finn Russell whip the miss pass from one touchline, and the next phase, a couple of phases later, on the other side of the field, say, miss me out completely. Very, very clever.
AJ McGinty injured for the time being, out for the next 3-4 months. This to take Finn Russell to the top of the Gallagher Premiership points tree, with the promise of many more to come between now and June.
Will Muir will get the plaudits here, but it's Ben Spencer once again. Austin talked about him at half-time, how effective he's been with his delivery, but it's also his shot selection, just having a quick look up, sucking the guard in, realising it's a 2-on-1 if he can stick the first man. Makes it look so easy, but it's incredibly effective from the Bath captain. He's had such a good near hour at this stage. Sure, he'll probably be called aside soon. Rest some legs for bigger games to come.
Bath have just made 5 changes: 16, 17, 18, 19 and 20, all on. Niall Annett, Francois Funfake, Will Stewart, brand new front row, Ross Maloney in the second row, Sam Underhill in the back row, Quinn Roux and Guy Pepper in the second row and back rowers to give way. It's going to be noisy and colourful and full of fun at Allianz Stadium, Twickenham later. Quinn's Leicester double bill, starting with the PWR game, and we will bring you that here on TNT Sports, and then the Gallagher Premiership Challenge between Harlequins and Leicester, both desperate for a pickup. Likewise, Saracens and Earl sprinting away. No way through. It was Muir defensively just then. Nathan Mitchellow, part of those doing what he can to find some life in this Saracens performance. Spink for Williams, by the way, as a permanent change. Williams has failed his HIA.
Carrying with some great intensity here. Sarries, couple of carries on the bounce, really aggressive, really direct. Bath's defence is holding up, but Sarries ain't going away.
See Aroni Maui on for Saracens. His impressive bulk in the middle of all that. The catch, however, or attempted catch, not so impressive.
He's got a bit of credit in the bank, hasn't he, Marrow?
Time off.
He's allowed one.
Got blood as well. 22's got blood.
Confirmation of what we have got this weekend. Quins against Leicester. Next up, Northampton and Newcastle as well on Discovery Plus. And then tomorrow, Exeter and Gloucester. Gloucester looking to end what has been a very promising conclusion to 2024 on an upward curve. What Exeter would give for a win right now. And whatever happens, we will wrap it all up with Craig and the boys and the girls with our rugby review Sunday tea time.
Yeah. Let's wait for 22.
Yeah, there's no foul to that injury, Carl. Yeah.
Happy faces. A collection of bobble hats. Some new for Christmas.
Just waiting for 22.
Some less so new. Some heirlooms. Some 100 years old.
The barber shop must do some business
Let's go
around
lads.
Christmas time in this part of the world.
Hey, well, you wouldn't know this at home, viewers, but I've got a mate who sits by the commentary post and always comes to say hello at half-time. We had a chat just now, didn't we, Brian, at half-time? That's him, my mate sitting there. He owns the local quilted jacket shop. Scruffy bloke, considering how rich he is, if you look at him.
He's dripping in gold. You can't see him here, but
He arrived by helicopter.
You can smell his barber from 50 metres. This is new and Christmas looking as well. As Bath go on the shove. Russell, Jomo. Took the ball and defender at the same time. He was being hunted down by Sam Spink.
Both sides, not pushing straight.
Mega bit of scrummaging that. That's what you want. You got a 40 cap England tight head, comes off the bench.
Not pushing straight.
Doesn't matter who he's replacing. You want him to do a job. Aroni Maui on the loose head for Saracens, also newly on. Fantastic loose head prop. But Sarries got tuned up then, well and truly.
There's Will Stewart, who went under Newcastle's defensive radar to score a try as a starter at Kingston Park last weekend, off the bench today. Ivan Funsale, by the way, is making his way on at scrum half for Saracens, replacing Gareth Simpson. Just not been able to get their kicking game going today because of the pressure that they've been under. Funsale, the boss of that, lots of kicking but lots of regathering. It hasn't worked for them today. And as a result, they spent far too much time in their own half, in their own 22. Lawrence, he's got better as this game's gone on.
Tackle!
Stewart trying the intricate, not quite working out, but no lasting damage done because Barbara's got his hands on it.
he's gotten away with that. He was in front of Will Muir and ripped the ball off from
Underhill.
All the way.
Lawrence. Glanville offered himself. Lawrence in the end decided to take the physical contact, work over the ball of Spink. Russell. And the Jomo whips it out to Muir and Miles Reed, who will gallop away like a winger when he gets the opportunity. Here's Annett. Once again, Bath beginning to stoke Christmas fires. Underhill! He's been on about 3.5 seconds.
Fantastic impact from the Bath subs bench. Sam Underhill, the scorer this time. But again, go back to what Austin mentioned at half-time and what you mentioned a few minutes ago, Brian. Ben Spencer Yes, he gets that ball up and away so quick, but it's his pass selection. Bath whipping it wide. Of course there's space. They got an extra man. Sarries actually do well to cover it, do well to get in touch with Miles Reed, get some numbers back there. But Ben Spencer is so quick, and it's not just about the speed, it's about the accuracy and the weighting of the pass, and the choice of pass pretty much every time has been spot on. That is what has separated him from pretty much every other player on the field today. Bath have had the run of it, we know that. Spencer verging on immaculate.
Well, Ben Spencer has just been replaced, so that's his last act, and it was another good Louis Scroeder on at scrum half. Capelli Pifoletti on his replacement hooker for Saracens, replacing Jamie George. Another Russell kick, more Russell points. Bath up to and very nearly 50 points, 47-3. Charlie Ewells is Bath captain now, as Lawrence once again shows the determination, just a little bit too low for a tall Will Muir to gather. Saracens with the knock-on advantage. This is a Toje and taken on by Maui.
Okay, tackle now. Let go, let go.
That was only the net.
Clare is waiting. It's behind him to Lazowski.
Yeah, round the net.
And Burke spills it, but there was an advantage for a high tackle.
Number 16 round the neck.
Against Niall Annett.
Look at this from Finn Russell. Just holds, and then it's just that extra last second creates that space for Lawrence. It doesn't quite go to hand out wide, but certainly not the fault of Finn Russell. He just has that Midas touch, the element of understanding of when to let the ball go, when he needs to hold it for a split second, just to create a tiny bit of space, create uncertainty in the defensive line, hold those inside defenders to unleash his outside attackers. He is really the very, very top of his game at the moment.
Pifoletti's throw, hoisted into the arms of Itoje. Smuggled back to the USA hooker. Van Sale there offering the calming voice and the outlet whenever is needed.
Chest on chest.
Sam Spink upended Earl. 15 minutes to go. Saracens looking for their first try. Michelo doing what he can. It went backwards and it was gathered by Wilson, so still hope. This is Maui. Ansel pointing the way. Spink, and then offloaded to Pifoletti, who smuggles his way through. It's been a long time coming, but welcome nonetheless from a Saracens perspective.
Welcome certainly from a Saracens perspective. I don't think at any point, even though Bath have scored so many points, we thought Saracens are rolling over. They won't. I think it's a decent carry, but really it's just a poor missed tackle from Will Stewart, who should do a lot better. We will credit the attack, but we must acknowledge that this is a tackle that absolutely could have been and should have been made. It's basic stuff, got to make that. That's what happens if you don't.
Not sure how many more Premiership opportunities Capelli Pifoletti will get in a Saracen shirt. There's some talk that he might be off to Provence and the Pro de Deux as soon as next month. It might just be talk. Not that we're ones to gossip, but
Weather will be starting to get good in a month as well.
Might join him.
If time is drawing to a close on his Saracens career, it's drawing to a close as a try scorer. .47-10, dozen minutes to go. Earl.
Cracking shot from Charlie Ewells. Nice and low, big strong shoulder, stopped Ben Earl in his tracks.
To Glanville, working hard to get in the right position, challenged by Angus Hall. Stewart. Squared as the scrum half now. Oh, that's a little bit loose. It was industry from Hartley that created the indecision from a Bath perspective. Finn Russell cross-field kick. Bouncing, spitting ball.
Come out!
Dealt with by Van Sale. Russell caught the ball, turned his back just to make absolutely sure that it'll be his. Stewart, Muir, beyond Underhill to Reid. Back to Sam Underhill, the try scorer, but there was a foot in touch.
I tell you what, I've had half an eye on Maritoji for the last 20-25 minutes, and he is absolutely steaming around this field. Every chance he gets, he's putting a shoulder on someone, whether they've got the ball or not. Charlie Ewells ran a dummy line, his England mate in the second row, whacked him, all legal, all fine, stuck a shoulder in. He is properly putting it about. They've been hammered today. Look at the scoreboard, anyone can see that. He hasn't been perfect, but he has not stopped. And you can say it's a given, but it often isn't. I think credit to him. He's been an absolute machine in this second half.
I suspect if the bookies were laying odds at the moment, they might have Caelan Doris as favourite to be Lions captain in the summer. But if you're drawing up runners and riders, a Toje wouldn't be a bad bet.
Of course, you know, he's got to be in the reckoning. First of all, you got to look as though you're going to make the starting test team, and you'd have to imagine that his name is very much in the mix in that regard. The fact that he's captaining Saracens this year is all important. Don't have to necessarily be captaining your national team. Lots of players have been picked captaining their own club or province in the past. So, yeah, Maritoji could do a hell of a lot worse than him. Went through a bit of a lull a few years ago, but boys, he come back to some real form in the last couple of seasons.
Van Sale, frustration from Maui.
Across, split the seam.
Shame he dropped that. He's great to watch when he gets going, Ronnie Maui.
When it goes out,
nice ball. He was in a bit of space. Underhill's around. If Underhill's within about a mile and a half, he tends to get you. But it would have been good to watch.
Time off. 2's down.
Sam Underhill completed the scoring last weekend at Newcastle. This try that took them into the 40s. And he scored Bath's latest here, the 7th try that's edged them close to the 50s. Their record win here, by the way, against Saracens, May 2008, 66-21. That margin of 45 points, so a bit of work to do. Margin right now 37 points. It's been made a little tougher, that breaking a new record challenge by Saracens trying Capelli Pifoletti's effort. But all of this has to come with an asterisk, provided by the very early red card for Toby Knight after just 14 minutes. The yellow card before then for Liam Williams, and the penalty try awarded off the back of it. And then the injuries to Tobias Elliott, Theo McFarlane. It's been a nightmarish end to 2024 logistically for Saracens.
Time back on then.
But Bath have absolutely exploited the moment. Saracens at the moment having a little bit more to say for themselves, but that's for long.
Advantage, knock on advantage.
10 minutes to go.
Advantage
Russell.
over, stay.
Van Sale sprinting back. Oh, that hat to be a quality pass, and it was just over the head of the hopeful Ajomo. That's charged down just beyond the reach of the hopeful Earl. This last 10 minutes might be a bit of fun.
I think Francois Van Fake thinks he's Finn Russell. It's everywhere.
Muir on a hat-trick, although he won't get it just then. Charged down by Angus Hall, who's beavered around to good effect while he's been on Shegan. Now Spink. Oh, and another charge down.
Van Fake again.
Ollie Lawrence with the wreck roaring its approval. And the ball, playing ball, under the post. Heading into a very happy new year for this lot. Maybe a blue, black and white 2025.
Just relentless pressure from Bath. Ollie Lawrence has been one of the standout players today. He's looked great. He's looked back to something like top form. He never really went off form, but he's looked very, very good today. This pass, you're right, it had to be good, it had to be perfect. And it was. Francois Van Fake, a couple of lovely bits of handling in the minutes preceding this, then the charge down. To be honest, Sarries are desperate at this point, they've got to try something. Utterly demoralising for them. But from a Bath perspective, you can only play against the team in front of you. And Bath have looked a couple of levels above this Saracens team this afternoon.
I think Van Vick just relieved that he didn't have to follow up his block then. Ollie Lawrence was there to do the necessary. As Finn Russell makes it a 7-pointer. Now that record is in jeopardy.
Yeah, it is. They're just a point away from equaling it. The next score will take them beyond it.
White are in front here.
I'm sure every Saracen down there has absolutely no idea about the minutiae of records, but it'll be about keeping this as tight as they can for the next 5 or so minutes. Meantime, Dockner, Singer and co still hungry. Reed.
Harry Wilson again.
Harry Wilson, yeah, once more. Brought in from Doncaster this season. Catching the eye today.
Off a knee, Clown.
Came off a knee, so on we go. And Niall Anna, ever hopeful. Gets down first to the bouncing ball. Scröder. Jomo. Russell. Lawrence out wide. Batted back to Dockner Singer. Oh! Jomo, how he caught that. And Dockner Singer. And it's a Christmas circus out there right now for Bath. And then the charging run from Ross Maloney. Not quite, but not far away.
Oh, they've got to move it.
If they do, they have to score. They're still hopeful of scoring, keeping it tight. There you go. Francois Van Fake. But Carl Dixon looks like he has something on his mind.
I just wonder, is there a knock-on on the way to it?
Checking for a knock-on by the player picking up the ball, please.
Okay, just checking for a knock-on.
Try.
Okay.
So they're going to look at Francois Van Fake, but Brian, you think there was a knock-on earlier?
Just checking for a knock-on by the player picking up the ball.
Yeah, it was out after that outrageous pickup from Lawrence. This isn't the one that I'm talking about.
So go back.
That looks good.
So it's not that one, Dick, but you
just go back, just go back. Yeah.
But as I can't remember who the player was, but as he went to bat it forward, someone else caught it, and I just wondered, did it move forward?
So probably the in-goal angle.
Yeah, we're just looking, Carl. Yeah, just bear with us. Yep.
Sure that we have hit upon the right moment just yet. So
this is the whole passage, Carl.
of play for Peter Allen, our TMO, to have another look at. Was it around here? No.
Okay.
Was it here? No.
Just that little piece there. So the 417 picks the ball up. It's whether the player going down the pick ball knocks it on. So I think it's 14. It's whether he knocks it on or not.
Just get a clear view on that, Carl.
Just here, this could be a great angle. Could have been. Wasn't.
So it goes out of frame. So we need the frame that shows whether he's knocked it on or not. 14 blue. It's this one here.
Yeah, it's not gone. It's a great spot.
We've got one more angle.
Okay.
He's the only one. I know he's very close.
Well, it's taking a while, and in all honesty, it doesn't really matter in the general scheme of things, but from a refereeing perspective,
Carl,
that was
there's
not
contact by the hands. So
Carl Dixon's got the eyes of a superhero.
Yeah. Call it nitpicking if you want. The Bath fans will, the ones booing, but he's right. Right call.
He'll have a wry smile in his referees meeting on Monday. The rest of you spot that, as I did.
Morning, Hawkeye. You'd imagine Sarries will just want to get this in, out and away as quickly as possible. Bath through Francois Fanfait and Will Stewart will absolutely pile the pressure on once this ball's in. Well done, Sarries.
Ben Earl, who, like a Toje, has not hidden in a challenging, difficult afternoon for Saracens. It was Maui who brought it on, and then Pifoletti boot to ball to Glanville, telling everyone what's on his mind. Russell, a Jomo. Oh my goodness, a fully fit, back to form Max Ajomo will offer plenty for this club heading into the new year. Maloney, Ewells, Russell again, the cutout pass to Glanville, Fokker-Nsinga, and this is turning into a record-breakingly good afternoon for Bath. A record-breakingly challenging one for Saracens. They are heading towards their biggest ever defeat at the Rec in the Premiership.
It's a thumping victory for Bath, about to be confirmed. Joe Fokker-Nsinga steaming in down the right. Barbary did the damage up the middle. So much power, he's just such a handful. Maratoji did his best actually to slow this ball down. He did a really good job on Maloney. But it's 2-on-2 here. Lazowski really has to stay on Fokker-Nsinga and trust Fansale on the inside, but geez, that is nitpicking. It would be nitpicking to criticise him for that at this point. One of the better defenders in the game.
It's the quality of the pass as well from Finn Russell. You know, whipped right across. Is it Anna where Fansale thinks he's going to get a man and ball, but it's flashed right across his face. Because of their defensive system playing hard up, it's so hard to turn with someone like de Glanville accelerating onto the ball, and then it just became a simple 2-on-1.
And Finn Russell and Bath into the swinging 60s. 61 points to 10.
The pass is so direct, you just can't recover from it. That's what it does. A quality of pass like that gives defenders a millisecond less. That's all you need. Game over.
It's only the 5th time that Saracens have conceded 60-plus points in the Premiership, and 3 of those occasions have been against Bath. Barbary gathers. Toje still there, beavering away for Saracens. I'm sure they will file this match in the let's move on quickly draw. So much more still for them to play with, beginning with a repeat of the biggest game of 2024 at the start of 2025 against Northampton. For Bath and for Saracens, Bristol at the StoneX next Saturday. Burke, Spink, Hartley. Only to the hands of Tom de Glanville. Russell stretching, still asking questions, and Muir still galloping through a hole. There's going to be more. Bath want more. A brilliant tackle, but not enough. And Muir scores. Muir has a hat-trick. And the wreck, as it has spent much of 2024 on its feet.
Oh, good call.
Sensational by Bath. Relentless defensive pressure with Saracens in possession despite the winning lead they already have. The game's in the bag and still they fight. Still they shut down anything Saracens want to create with line speed and aggression. And then Finn Russell gets a call from his mate Will Muir in the backfield. He sees a couple of big fellas. A couple of big fellas out wide, not where they want to be. He's too good not to score from there. Sensational. Great call, great pass from Finn Russell again. Guess what? Bath utterly rampant.
Well, it was Angus Hall who very nearly did enough, but not quite. Opportune time, it would seem, Brian, for you to tell us who the Gallagher player of the match is.
I would love to see the numbers on Will Muir's GPS. That try has just changed my point of view on the Gallagher player of the match. Ben Spencer it was after a brilliant hour. But that hat-trick hero, he's been exceptional. He has run and run and run. He's breathing heavily now because his work rate has been exceptional. Yes, he's scored 3 good tries. He's been brilliant in the air. Defensively hasn't had a huge amount to do, but just because of that late finish, Will Muir is my Gallagher player of the match.
First ever hat-trick for him, and he's got some recognition to go along with it as well.
It's a great shout, and actually when he's had tackles to make, he's properly made them as well. He's not shy of it. He's played really, really well. I think Bath have, yes, been rampant. A festival for them today. It hasn't felt like a true representation of Saracens at all. It's not the players they want out there. They've had some bad luck. So a wonderful day for the West Country men. Saracens, yeah, if I were them, I'd delete this and move on.
Still they want more. Muir wants more. But that will have to do. I won't bother running down all the scorers because we'll be here until New Year's Day. But crowd out of their seats, on their feet. A weakened Saracens, a heavily weakened Saracens as well with the red card, have been sent to the cleaners by a rampant Bath. Saracens' biggest ever Premiership defeat. They've never known an afternoon like this. Final score at the Rec, Bath 68, Saracens 10.